What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today it is actually about 1 in the morning almost in my college dorm, which means I have to be pretty quiet. There is going to be some background noise and just sort of like college nightlife stuff going on in the background, so I apologize for any of that. I don't know how well the audio in this video is going to turn out, but today I have a Hasbro Beyblade X release. This is Arc Wizard Round 455LO Orb, or as I call it, Wizard Arc, just because that's the Takara Tomy name and I prefer those. This is a stamina type release in Beyblade X. I'm going to go over all of this stuff as I get into it, but here we go over all the parts. 455, this is so far the only 55 height ratchet. I'm recording this video shortly after the Shark Scale set released, so there is a 450 now, which is pretty nice, and a low orb, which is just the orb bit but a millimeter shorter. Here's all the parts of the blade. There's the wizard lock chip, the arc main blade, and the round assist blade, or auxiliary blade as Hasbro calls it. So I'm actually kind of unsure how to get into this, because there's tape and stuff on this side, right, in here and whatnot. So I don't really want to desecrate the packaging because I don't like doing that, but it also encourages you up here to, I guess, grab it by one of these little tab pieces and just yank that to get it out. So I think what I'm actually gonna do is, like I said, I don't really like to desecrate the packaging. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna grab a pair of scissors. Also just because I don't want to be loud, because like I said, it's about 1 in the morning. It's quiet hours right now, from 10 at night to 10 in the morning. All the dorm rooms have to be quiet so people can sleep. Oh, okay, so there's 2 pieces of tape there on that side. I don't even know if this is technically the right way to get in. Alright, I guess we desecrating the packaging today. What the fuck? I actually don't, I don't really know how this works. Yeah, I guess we're destroying the packaging, even though I pledged not to do that. So, here we go. On the inside, there's nothing that, okay, there's all the parts, and there's the proto launcher, which I'm gonna go over. And then this slides right out, and there's the instruction sheet right there, which I don't think I'm gonna need, but whoops, but I might end up resorting to it, just because this is actually my first CX release that I've gotten my hands on. Okay, so you open that up, you get all that out. So we're gonna start up with the main blade. This is Arc. This is a sort of like wide, this is actually pretty wide to my knowledge. This is, I want to say this is about the same width as Wizard Rod. I actually wouldn't know off the top of my head, but still. This is a pretty wide, sort of 2-bladed shape here. This looks really aggressive, actually. This, obviously I don't expect the same performance from this that Wizard Rod had, but Wizard Rod sort of set a really unfair precedent for stamina types, and I kind of hate that, because now it just feels like everybody wants the new stamina types to just be another Wizard Rod, and not giving them a chance, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh, that was loud. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, it's kind of unfortunate, but that's that. This isn't a very round shape. There's these big cutouts here, and then obviously here as well. So this feels like it might be better for attack than anything else, but I have heard good things about using this on bumper. So I'm gonna have to get my hands on a Perseus Dark, which I actually did see at the same Walmart that I got this, but I didn't get it because I wasn't thinking at the time of using bumper on Arc. On the bottom here, it looks like we've got a slight, or maybe not even slight, this might be a pretty noticeable imbalance. There's more metal here and it's a little more hollowed out here. So actually, once again, I don't know how good this is going to be for stamina, and that imbalance is actually really, in my opinion, really disappointing because, you know, like I said, for a stamina type release, I would want this, especially for the shape, I would want it to be balanced. I know Hasbro also released a retooling of this called Wriggle, with the new Wriggle Kraken. I don't know how good that is. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it yet, so I don't know. Maybe they would get rid of the imbalance on Wriggle, like Arc does have, but I don't know, just because, I don't know. Moving on, we've got the assist blade. This is round, which does mostly live up to its name. There are, you know, small cutouts here and here, which don't seem to make too much of a difference on the bottom here. And then a larger cutout here, which once again doesn't seem to make too much of a difference. That might affect its life after death, but who knows. Here's the QR code if anyone wants to scan it into their Hasbro app. This is a tall assist blade. I think I mentioned that already, but assist blades do come in tall and short, so that is something to keep in mind, just because I know height is pretty important in Beyblade X. And next up is the Lock Chip Wizard. This is, as far as I know, the lock chips don't really make a difference in performance, except of course for the Valkyrie one, just because it has metal on it. It looks pretty cool. I don't hate the chip art. I think it's kind of funny. When I first saw this, it just looked like, I didn't see his left hand here, so I thought he was just giving a fucking thumbs up, which I thought was really funny. So now, you guys get to watch in real time as I try to figure out how to put one of these together. I think, okay, that feels right. And then, just like that. It is that easy, fellas. I hyped that up so much for almost nothing. I do think I got the alignment or orientation wrong on this. I think it's definitely not supposed to look like that. Let me refer to the box art real quick. I think it's supposed to, I mean, this is the only logical one to me now, just because it's the last alignment out of the three. There we go. Yeah, that looks nicer. So overall, on the side view here, this looks interesting. There's a pretty big gap there that I don't really know how I feel about. Once again, I don't see this being very good for stamina use. Of course, testing and whatnot has already come out. As far as I know, it's not that good at all. But who knows? Maybe I can find some good combo to use with it. Just set everything down. And all right, next up is the Ratchet 455. So this is a single piece ratchet. So as far as I know, there's no like actual moving parts in these. You just stick it on, and to my knowledge, you just stick it on and twist it that way, and it sort of goes freely. There's no like locking mechanism for it, which is really weird to me. But I guess for 55 height, it almost makes sense. This would make sense to me if 450 didn't have the regular locking mechanism. I don't know why they would nerf it like this, but they did change the shape, which I forgot to mention. This is not the typical four-sided ratchet shape, which is nice. So apart from the slight burst resistance nerf, or I would assume it's a nerf with it having that locking mechanism, at that height, I don't know how much it would matter, but having that improved shape would, or not really would, it is appreciated. I like that a lot. And I hear this is pretty good on Cobalt Dragoon. I obviously have yet to do any testing with it. This is the first 55 that I have my hands on. Next up, moving on, we have Low Orb. This is literally just the orb bit from Viper Tail, but 1 millimeter shorter. So Orb, as far as I know, Orb is pretty good. It's outclassed by Ball for like pure stamina, but it does have good defense and also good stamina at the same time. You can get by using Orb in competitive. And then low orb being a millimeter shorter is just, I mean, it's shorter. Gives it a slight decrease in the risk of getting ratchet burst, just because, you know, once again, the height. So I'm gonna put this all together. If I can figure out how to use this 55 height ratchet, and that sort of clicked in. That's interesting. Okay. Is it supposed to do that? I guess it is. Okay. So I guess it doesn't like slide on. That's kind of a relief. I do like that about it. And then that just goes in like that. And this feels pretty tall. I'm gonna get out one of my other X Beyblades just to compare it to real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, first Beyblade I found to compare it to was actually Wizard Arrow. So, once again, for width, it does seem, like I was saying earlier, it does seem pretty wide. I think this is even. Yeah, it's pretty wide, which is nice. And then, yeah, for height, this is stock Wizard Arrow. It's 480 ball. And yeah, these feel quite the same, if not Arc being taller. Yeah, I think Arc is just like barely taller. I know that angle doesn't do justice for the camera, but I'm like lowering my head and I'm looking at them on my desk. That does seem like Arc is taller, which is, oh, okay, which is really funny to me because it's on the second shortest ratchet and a millimeter shorter bit. So like, yeah, the assist blade is tall, so that does sort of like negate all of this, but I don't know how much height this is actually supposed to add. I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting to think about. So now moving on, one more thing to go over before I do a test spin, which I'll probably record tomorrow actually, is this, the Proto Launcher. This thing, I have not heard good things about this, and rightfully so. So this is just a handheld launcher. You can't attach this to anything, so you have to hold it like this, and I can really only get 3 fingers on there, maybe a 4th if I can justify holding it like that. But oh my god, that was loud. You are expected to put a full Beyblade on here and launch it like that, which I'm not gonna do now. When I do my test spin, I'll use this, and I'll use a regular launcher as well. The good news is it's somewhat smooth, but that is not a nice launcher to use. So the one thing I do hear people saying that the Hasbro Wizard Arc starter does have one thing over the Takaratomi one, and that's just that it comes with a launcher, and obviously it's more available in the West, but regardless, this is not a good launcher to like celebrate having. I am curious about one thing though. I kind of want to know if this winder is interchangeable with the ones from the regular Takaratomi launchers or the Hasbro like tournament grade launchers. So I'll be right back with one of those to figure that out. Alright, I got out a Takaratomi standard winder launcher. I just want to see, because it's looking, oh, they are interchangeable. That is really, really funny to me that it's essentially the same size winder, which, I mean, I guess that does make sense just because it's, you know, it's still a Beyblade X launcher at the end of the day. You can put a super long winder in the Proto Launcher and give it just that sort of slight buff, and then you can put the shorter winder in the standard launcher. And actually, come to think of it, how much shorter are these? So from the first tooth, okay, so they're about an inch shorter. It's not a crazy huge difference, but especially given how much more difficult I would find this to be, to grab onto. This is genuinely just a better way to go. And there are the slightly extended ones from the Hold launcher and Pegasus Blast and other releases. So this is actually, funny enough, kind of outclassed if you're using a winder launcher. But regardless, that's kind of a funny detail to me. I don't know. But that's everything that comes with Arc Wizard, or Wizard Arc. And I'll see you guys for a test spin in a little bit. I'm probably gonna, I'm definitely gonna record that tomorrow. But yeah, I'll see you guys there. All right, I got out my X Stadium. Here's Wizard Arc. I'm just gonna do a quick test spin to end the video off in 3, 2, 1. So naturally, being a stamina type, here I'll move the stadium just a little closer. Naturally being a stamina type, it is going to sort of congregate in the middle there. And I assume as it starts to slow down, that imbalance on the arc blade will cause it to wobble and move around a lot more. You could see toward the start, it was, it was moving around a bit. It was definitely showing that imbalance, but it's straightened out now, and it's just sort of standing there. I don't know if the camera's catching it, but it is wavering just a little bit, very slight. But like I said, as it slows down, or as it is slowing down, I can definitely see a bit more movement there. As it starts to wobble, I'm sure the camera will pick it up. There we go. All right, so not a crazy impressive spin time, but that's that's what it comes down to. So I think that will end the video for today. So have a good day, be happy, and I'll see you in the next one.